love in my life, it goes my wife and my firstborn son, and then the comp plan. Not really, but I truly do love the compensation plan. When I started this role about 2.5 years ago, I'm a little embarrassed to say that I wasn't a pro at the comp plan, right? So I dove in, I studied it, and I can stand here today and tell you that I love the comp plan, right? That's what truly changes lives, is the compensation plan. So, excuse me. So, the big idea is to build your business in a way that maximizes the compensation plan. I want us to focus on the word maximize. We're going to go over a bunch of different ways that we can take advantage of the compensation plan. So if one sticks out to you, write some notes about it and take it home and maximize it, okay? We're going to maximize the compensation plan today. The objectives are: 1, recognize the fundamentals of the compensation plan. Right, we're going to become pros, or early pros. 2, we're going to identify methods to help you or your team members get their products paid for. That's an essential part of the compensation plan. And lastly, we're going to develop strategies to earn income using the compensation plan. Who's here because they want to earn income? Right? So, let me ask you a dumb question. Does a pink Plexus mug change your life?
No.
It doesn't, right? How about an iPad? Does an iPad change your life? No. How about a cruise to the Bahamas? Right? Can it be a stepping stone to change your life? Yes, right? But the actual cruise is not going to change your life. I'm not saying I don't want you guys to earn it. I want to see every single one of you on that boat, right? But how about this? How about creating a team of strong, independent leaders who want to create wealth and change their families forever? Does that change lives?
Yes.
Right? Does that change lives?
Yes.
Right? Because that's why we're here today. To maximize the compensation plan, to change your life and the life of your team. Okay? So, to get started, this is it, but this isn't it. Go back. Okay, sales is the transference of inspiration. At one point, you were inspired by somebody else to join Plexus. All right, think of that person. Take 5 seconds and think of that person who inspired you. Why did you start Plexus? You had the hope that this company and these products would change your life. So you guys, all sales is transferring that inspiration that you have to somebody else. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Right? You are inspired to share with others, and that's why you're here. So, a story from my life is about 3 years ago, a good friend of mine mentioned in passing while we were playing board games at his house that he was going to do a sprint triathlon on Saturday. It was Monday. And I was like, what's a sprint triathlon? He goes, well, it's a 1/4 mile swim, a 12-mile bike ride, and then a 3-mile run, all back to back. So a lot less than a true triathlon. But I was like, hey, I could maybe do that, right? Sure, right? That could be fun. My wife's like, no. So, Monday I signed up for this sprint triathlon. Yeah, Monday. It was on Saturday, no training. So that next day, my wife and I went to the pool. She swam in high school. She's an amazing swimmer. And jumped in the water with my new goggles I had just bought. And I made it about half a lap. Half a lap, and I thought I was going to die. I stood up frustrated. It was like 3-foot pool, and I still thought I was going to die. I stood up frustrated, angry, like I should be able to do this. And my wife, who had swam like 30 laps, encouraged me that you can do it. She transferred that inspiration to me. and I finished the training set. The next day, I started on the 12-mile bike ride to train, right? Air quotes training. One day in each category is not training, by the way. So, I go out on this 12-mile bike ride, I get a flat halfway through, I get back, and I'm like, oh, I survived, I can do that. Awesome. The next day I run 1 mile. I'm like, it's a third, I can walk a lot. It'll be fine. I'll be totally fine. So, the day of the race comes. Apparently it's custom to wear these tiny uncomfortable shorts, so I wear these tiny shorts. And I jump in the water, and I immediately think I'm going to die. And so, my wife's on the side, and in between drowning, I can see her. And she's like, you can do it. I'm like, I'm gonna die. And so I keep swimming. I think I invented a stroke called the jellyfish. You lie on your back and you just kind of float through the water. People are flying by me and they're like, this is awkward. I'm like, this is awkward. Just keep swimming. And so I make it through the swim part and I am exhausted. But what made me get through it was my wife. She inspired me. She transferred that inspiration she had in me to me that day. Right? She sold me on finishing that swim. So I rolled out of the pool and I walked over to the bike and I hopped on the bike and I started to pedal. And thankfully Arizona is fairly flat. So I did the 12 miles and I got done and I was exhausted. Exhausted. But my happenstance, my buddy who signed me up, or talked to me about signing up, was finishing his entire race by the time I was finishing the bike. And so he passed me and he goes, you can do it, like, I believe in you. I was like, that makes one of us. But if you believe in me, I'm going to do this. I'm gonna finish. So I walked 3 miles, right? Very slow 5K. I think I even set a record that day for the slowest 5K ever walked. But I finished. And I was so excited and so proud of myself. And the only thing I could think of was how excited I was to do it the next year. Right? My friends and family sold me on finishing. And what I wanted to do was sell other people on it. I've now done it 3 times. Swimming is still the worst. Thank you. Thank you. Swimming is still the worst. Despite being built like a marine mammal, I do not swim like one. So that's where I need to get better. However, last year I sold my father-in-law and my brother to do it with me. So 3 of us did it. And my hope this upcoming September is that my whole family does it with me. Right? They sold me on finishing, and I want to help sell them on finishing. They transferred that inspiration to me. Okay, so keep that in mind as we go through the compensation plan. We are going to inspire others, even when they don't feel inspired. Okay? Deal?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So, a couple of terms we need to understand before we dive into the compensation plan are 1, personal volume. Personal volume is a commissionable amount assigned to Plexus products. Okay? It's not more exciting than that, if that's what it is, right? That is it. Next, we have a qualified brand ambassador. A qualified brand ambassador is a brand ambassador, obviously, who has their PAM, which is Plexus annual membership, paid, and they have 100 PV order in that calendar month. Okay? Okay. And then organization. An organization is your entire team, regardless of depth. A couple more terms. Our paid level. So there's a difference between paid level and physical level, right? So I'm going to use these 2 later here. So let's say, Tracy, you're my physical level 1. I signed you up, right? Tracy's my level 1. I'm going to get rich because of her. Thank you, by the way, right? And then she signs up Kim. So I have a physical level 1 and a physical level 2. Let's say, this is never going to happen, 1 month, Tracy is not commission qualified or a qualified brand ambassador. What happens in that situation is Kim and everybody underneath her roll up, what we call compress up, into my paid level 1. Right? Does that make sense? Right? And that's not permanent.
Yeah.
When Tracy gets qualified again, that decompresses down. So then Kim is now, and everybody else on her team are now my levels 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7. Right? So that's paid level. Physical level stays always. Paid level can move depending on if somebody in the organization is qualified or not. Next, we have Plexus Points. Plexus Points is a system based off of PV and level for orders from brand ambassadors and VIP customers. A good way to think about this is your total team pay, right? Plexus Point is your total team pay. And then the last one, before we dive in, is primary leg. So, a primary leg is the level 1 brand ambassador who contributes the most amount of points, whose team contributes the most amount of points to yours. Okay, does that make sense? So let me ask you this. Who would sit on a one-legged stool? No takers? Okay. I was gonna bring out a stool and have somebody try to sit on it, but legal was like, no, we can't people falling off one-legged stools. So the answer is nobody, right? So as unstable as a one-legged stool is, a team with only one strong primary leg is equally unstable, right? So you obviously want to sit on a two-legged stool. You would probably sit on a three-legged stool. But does that make sense? The more legs you have, the more stable your team is, right? So think about this. Now you have multiple people on your team fighting for that primary leg spot. How strong is that team going to be compared to a team who struggles because they have one primary leg? All right. The goal here is to create multiple primary legs that can create a strong foundation for your team. Does that make sense? Okay. Awesome. So we're going to talk about there's two ways that income is earned through personal activity. And that is why network marketing is amazing. You control a portion of your check. You have direct control over that, right? The first thing we're going to talk about is the business building bonus. Who here knows what the business building bonus is? All right, BBBs, as the young kids call them, right? BBBs. This is when you earn 20% of the PV from an initial order in their first month, which that's what initial means, but I decided to be redundant. So, any initial order over 100 PV, you get 20% back in a check. And this is paid out weekly. So, again, I want us to take a second and think. This is awesome for you, right? Who doesn't want weekly paychecks? But who on your team could be inspired by weekly paychecks? Right? That's why we're here, is to focus on the other person. Right?
Yeah.
Who on your team could be motivated to grow this business because of BBBs? So, to do a little math, what would the BBB be on an order of 50 PV?
Zero.
The answer's up there. Nothing, right? Why? Because it's not 100 PV. Exactly. So now, if there's an order of 150 PV, the quick math is you do 10% of 150, which is 15, and then you double it, right? $30. Okay, but what's interesting is now what if you sign somebody up on a 200 PV? order. Right? That money value increases. So this is something unique about BBBs. It's directly correlated to the amount somebody purchases. Right? So we don't want to oversell just to oversell, but if somebody needs it, let's get it to them first, because one, it benefits them, and two, it benefits you and your team. Okay? So, the next thing after BBBs is retail rewards. Are we familiar with retail rewards at all? Ish? Okay, cool. That's why I'm here, so great. This is another part of the buffet, right? So retail rewards are when you can earn 15 to 25% of the PV, of total PV, right? PV comes from your personal orders and also the orders of your retail customers, okay? So both of those go into a bucket. If that bucket is from 101 PV to 499 PV, you get 15% of that in a check. If that bucket is over 500 PV, you get 25% of that in a check. Again, I'm gonna beat this horse until we all understand it. This is not only for you. Who on your team doesn't want to pay a PAM every year, but just wants to take the products? Right? Who do you know that could benefit from being a retail customer that just wants to pick and choose what they order each month and not have to worry and stress about it? We all have those people on our teams. This is for them. It benefits you and it benefits them. So be thinking of those people. That's how you maximize the compensation plan, is by thinking about individuals behind each level. Who could be affected by BBBs? Who could be affected by retail rewards, right? So, some more math. Retail rewards. Remember, it has to be over 100 PV. So if it's 100 PV, there's no commissions paid out. So it's 0%. Thank you. If it is 300 PV, it falls in between that 101 and 499 PV category. So it's 15% commissions. You minus that first 100 PV, because that's be over it. You're left with 200 PV, and 15% of that is 30. There is no trick to figure out 15% of a number, so you can't find 10 and double it. So, live life on the edge and be surprised, right? Just be surprised and enjoy it. What was that? Okay, there you go. Do 10 once, take that number, do 10 again, and cut it in half. Are you a math teacher? Wow, maybe you shouldn't have skipped. Stay here. I'm watching you. Okay, and the next 500 PV, you qualify for that 25% commission category. Minus that first 100, 400 PV is $100. Who on your team could be motivated by an extra $100 each month? I know some people, right? So there's value in retail customers. It's just another way to grow your business. Okay? Okay, those were the two ways to earn income through personal activity. Next, we're going to talk about team activity. This is what truly sets Plexus and network marketing apart, is that you get to work with a group of individuals who are excited to grow, who are excited to earn income, who are excited to work through the hard together. And so, as we dive into the team portion of it, we're going to talk about Plexus points. There are 3 things you need to understand about Plexus points. Okay? Number 1, points are earned from VIP customers and brand ambassadors in your organization. Okay? VIP customers and brand ambassadors. The next thing is points are assigned based off of certain PV values and what level they are in your organization. And then lastly, each point has a dollar value associated with it called a pay point value. And this varies each month. there's an equation that's far too complicated for me to figure that out. That is usually somewhere around 2.7. I think last month it was like $2.8 per point. But that varies each month. So there's a lot to unpack in this simple slide. And so we're going to dive in. Once I look at the far left side, how many levels does it go deep?
7.
7, right? So how deep should we be working our business?
7.
That was very quiet. How deep should we be building our business?
7.
7, right? That's the goal, is to get down to those lower levels and have them be providing a lot. And we're going to look at that in a little bit, but keep that in mind. The goal is we want to maximize the compensation plan and use every single level, okay? Okay, this first column is VIPs only. So, I'm not saying everybody's doing this, but sometimes we upgrade people just to upgrade them, to get a brand ambassador. When in reality, all they want to do is order their hydrate and not enroll people, right? We have those people. They add value as a VIP customer because they give you points. If we upgrade somebody just to upgrade them and they become a brand ambassador, you're getting no points from them because the minimum for a brand ambassador is 50 PV. Does that make sense? Right? So there's value in VIP customers at those lower PV values because they give you points. Right? Some people just want to order an active, which I think all of us, that should be our go-to. When somebody doesn't know what to order, that's an awesome product that can help give somebody the energy to get through their day. So that's the first column. The next two are VIP and brand ambassador. What do you guys notice about the very third column, 100 PV plus, in levels 1, 2, and 3? So rhetorical question, think about it. What's unique there?
The numbers are the same.
Yeah, so it's 655. See how levels 2 and 3 give you the same amount of points? Almost 6 points, right? That's on purpose, right? The reason we did that is intentional. We want you working with your level 1s. You want to work with your level 1s to find level 2s, and your level 2s to find level 3s, right? We are willing to give you almost the same amount down through 3 levels because we want to teach good practices. We want to teach you how to duplicate truly on your team down to the lower level and beyond, right? Okay. Okay, so that is Plexus points, and an awesome song, which Genevieve's going to sing because I'm not brave enough, to remember how many points you get is?
655 4321. 655.
Okay, everybody.
655 4321. 655 4321.
One more time.
655 4321.
Thank you. You guys remember these points, 655 4321. Right? 655 4321. That's numbers. 655 4321. Okay? Now we can map out where we want to go based on who's in our level and what number of PV. This table is also in your books, so you have it, you can refer to it. Okay. Moving on, Plexus points. Imagine you find 4 people who want to work the business, who want to share this opportunity, who want to transfer their inspiration to somebody else, right? What could happen if each one of those people found 4 people? Let's see. Suspense, I'm sure, is killing all of us, right? So, they each find 4. That's 20 points each, and we're only 2 levels deep. Right? So by teaching good principles on our team and finding the right individuals who want to share the opportunity, look what happened. Now let's go 1 level deeper. Okay, quick math, which I did earlier because quick math is not a thing for me. That's 424 points, all from your first 3 legs, 3 levels, because you found 4 people who wanted to share. What rank is close to 424 points? Ruby. You guys, we're gold school. What's the next rank?
Ruby.
Ruby, right? Does that make sense? Hopefully this is some light bulbs going off in your mind. This is the game plan to get you there, right? This is it. How many level 1s would you have to enroll to get 424 points? 40s? It's more than 40. It's 71, because you can't have half a person, right? So 71. So 71. Who here would rather enroll 71 people, or would you rather find 4 people who want to run with you? That's a dumb question. It's a no-brainer, right? You want to find 4 people who want to run. This is the framework. But we're not trying just to use those first 3 levels of the compensation plan. How deep do we want to go? 7. Thank you. 7. For our Spanish speakers, siete? Siete. Yes. All the way down to level 7. So you guys, if this continues all the way down to level 7, that's 29,096 points. But what I want to point out from this slide is the total points is awesome. You guys, look how many points you're getting from levels 6 and 7. Our goal is to get to those level 7s. We need to build a strong enough team here that we can get to those level 7s. Right, that should be the goal. Our top 5 income earners here at Plexus, we did the math, over 75% of their points come from levels 6 and 7.
Wow.
Right? Does that make sense? Right, so our goal is to get there. How do we get there? By building a strong foundation right now. By maximizing the compensation plan with BBBs, retail rewards, using the points. Right? Does that make sense? Okay. So, moving past Plexus points into our achievement bonus. Achievement bonus is very simple. If you hit rank for the first time, you get a bonus. Right? It's right there. It's in your books. So refer to it. Who here on your team could be motivated by an achievement bonus? I see some nods over here, right? I can think of some people. Oh, sorry, first time wearing the mic. Sorry. I can think of some people, right? So let me ask you this question. And again, this is levels ranked silver to senior ruby. Genevieve spoke on those pool jewels. What's it, jewel pool? Switched it, sorry. So used to being in the pool because I'm such a good swimmer. Right? The jewel pool. So this is for silvers to senior rubies. Okay? What's better than an achievement bonus? Jewel pool, yes, agree, yes. Yes, nailed it. Fast start. Fast start is when you achieve that rank in a certain amount of time from when you start. And guess what it does? It doubles your achievement bonus. So now, if somebody can be motivated by getting to a rank, and they're going to get there anyways, why not help them do it faster? Right? Why not help them get there faster? They get paid twice as much, and with Fast Start, you as the sponsor, also, you get a bonus. Right? So, who doesn't love extra cash? I don't know. I do. I have a lot. Okay. Now the big question. How can I consistently make $300 every month? But I want us to change that a little bit. How can I help multiple people on my team make $300 every month? Right? Because that's why we're here. To inspire others. So, this is going to look familiar. Let's assume each order is 100 PV, and the pay point is 2, which is very low. Right? Last month it was 2.8. So, you sign up for VIP customers. Right, this does not look new, we just went over it, right? 4 VIP customers with the BBB and their points, their Plexus points, gives you $128. And the best way to think about this, because thinking about 4 people all at once can be overwhelming sometimes. Let me ask you this, when is it hard to enroll 4